The Rangers reviews. Great game against Buffalo. Unfucking believable. How are we gonna win games like this? If we're outscoring our opponent 6-2, how are we gonna win? It makes no sense to me. I guess we're just gonna review it. Whatever. Fine. Everybody has a good game. Whatever. It's fine. It's just whatever. Just everyone. Hey, well, have a good game tonight. Well, yeah. What a fucking awesome game. That was like one of the most fun hockey games I think I've watched in a long time. That was hockey. I like hockey. Hockey's cool. Wow. There's a lot I got to get into. I'm actually going to go over to Twitter because... So, I said to myself, like, how... I constantly forget to mention things. Wait, get the fuck out of here, Twitter. I'm not fucking stupid shit. I constantly forget to talk about things in these videos. And I realize the best way to remember them is just to go to my Twitter feed when I'm live tweeting the game because, like, I say a lot there. Before I get into those, let's just talk about the team statistics of the game. So, the Rangers were outshot 33-24, contrary to the eye test. Honestly, I'm actually kind of surprised to see this stat that we were outshot. But then again, a lot of what the Rangers were doing was puck possession versus just throwing the puck on net. And hey, if we can make that work, make it work. Buffalo did have a good amount of shots. We were out face off 59% to 41%. I expected to see a stat like that. I actually thought it was going to be a little bit worse, but got to work on those face-offs. I don't think we've led in face-offs once this season. Maybe once. I don't know. I just don't remember calling it out that way. We out-hit them 34-28. The Rangers were very physical tonight, and it showed. It showed on the freaking everything. A lot of... just physical play. I liked it. We outblocked them 22-5. The Sabres had 5 block shots. The Rangers had 22. So anyone who thinks that hitting and block shots doesn't mean anything in hockey anymore, well, come on. Giveaways, we had 17. They had 13. We had a lot of giveaways, but there were a couple ones that were blatant, like the Capo Caco giveaway on the Sabres' first goal, I think it was. I think it was Scandella just cranked it. Yeah, Scandella just cranked it 5-hole. That was a giveaway. That was a tough giveaway for the kid. Let's get into the ice time before I talk about any of that stuff, before I get into like the small things. Panarin had a goal. He was a +4 tonight. He had 2 shots on goal, 4 giveaways. Panarin has a lot of giveaways, but he also has a lot of takeaways, and those giveaways are just him making the extra move. And usually he recovers anyways because he's one of the most underrated back checkers that I've ever seen. Like I haven't seen a lot of Artemi Panarin pre-Rangers, but what I do remember when he would play against us when he was in Columbus or Chicago, that the guy was always fucking relentless on the back check. You're like, this guy would kill you in the offensive zone, and then back checking, he'd steal the puck. It was just, yeah. He played 19-21 tonight. He actually got a little penalty kill time, 13 seconds. McKegg had a pretty good game. He played 9:44. McKegg had a good game. He didn't stand out. He didn't do anything wrong. I just thought he played well. He skated hard. Stromer, 2 goals, +3, 4 hits, and 2 giveaways at a takeaway. Face-offs, though, at 22% for Stromer tonight. That's a little rough, but he played a freaking awesome game, so I'm not gonna shit on him for it. I'm on David Quinn. We're gonna get into that in a minute. No, Stromer had an awesome game. Foss had 2 helpers, played 16-16 tonight. He got a second on the power play. Wow. Kreis looked freaking awesome tonight, man. You probably heard what I said. I was talking shit about his hands. He was sticking on pretty well tonight. Kreider had a really good game. Hopefully he can keep this up and like literally play like this at least like 75% of the games this season. I mean, damn, he looked good tonight. Long day. Howden a goal and a helper. 1 giveaway, 2 blocks and hit though. He had a freaking Kreider had 4 hits by the way. It was played decent. Howden had a really good game as well. Actually, Howden played so well in that third line that and Strome, they both had such good games. If they keep it like this, I won't complain as much about Elias Anderson playing on the 4th line. I do think he should get more minutes, but I won't complain as much about him being on the 4th line, even though he didn't win a single faceoff tonight. Yikers. Capo Caco, -2, played 11:47 tonight. Man, he pulled a Jack Hughes on that freaking empty net, huh? He dangled the shit out of Carter Hutton and then banked it off the post. He had a good freaking game. I mean, I wish he would have gotten a little more ice time than he did, especially in that third period. I feel like he just wasn't on the ice. Like, they were shorting his ice, which is kind of weird when you have a 3-4 goal lead, but I'm not the coach. Brendan Lemieux played 12. Brendan Lemieux, I think, was one of the most effective Rangers on the ice side. He didn't take a penalty. And he was pretty close to drawing a couple. He's a ball buster, and he's a pretty skilled player, too. Like, that pass he made over to Strome was good. The pass he made to Kakko for that little short break that he hit the post on, pretty good. Yeah, Lemieux had a good game. Buchnevich and Panarin are disgusting together, by the way. Holy, those boys buzz. I'm going to get into that, too. Very sorry. Had early anatomy and physiology today, so I am quite tired. And I also played hockey. I'm back at it. The fractured spine is no more. My spine's still fractured, but like I'm in like the second half. I'm at the 3/4 mark, the 75% mark of recovery, so I can start skating and playing like pickup hockey again. So I'm just slowly getting back into that, and I am tired and sore from it, even though it's only been like 8 weeks or something like that. But yeah, I am tired. Zibanejad had -1. He took faceoffs at 50% tonight. He had 2 shots hit and a block. I mean, Zibanejad didn't really stick out and do anything too crazy. He had a good game, but he didn't like stick out or like do anything like unbelievable. He just had a good game, and that's to be expected. You know, you had to figure a lot of his points were going to come from like just looking into the season from like before game 1. You figured a lot of Zibanejad's points were going to come from Panarin, and when you separate the two, it was probably going to be an adjustment for Panarin to begin with. But once it gets like a 20, 30 game mark and Kakko really starts buzzing and the team starts gelling, I don't see how Zibanejad has less than 70 points this season. I mean, he's fine. He's going to get used to Kreider and Kakko. Trouba had a friggin' awesome game. 3 takeaways. He had 3 giveaways, but 3 takeaways as a defenseman. Played 26-46. 3 blocks, 6 hits, 4 shots on goal, was a +1. Trouba had a monster game. People like complain about like little things that Trouba does. I really... Besides, like, a couple plays during the season, like, a couple bad giveaways Trouba's had during the season, but, like, I don't think Trouba's been bad at all. Like, I don't know. I can't really see things I dislike in Trouba's game. The only thing I would critique Trouba on, he's a bit of a slow skater, like, not a slow, like, forward stride. Like, once he gets his acceleration going, he's fine. But it's like that first couple steps, like, Trouba's a big boy. He's a big body. He's got a lot of weight to move. He has to lug a second before he can get that straightaway speed. Like, his pivot and turn when a player gets around him, it's a little tough, and he has a hard time catching up because, again, a bigger guy, slower skater. But besides that, I mean, Trouba's a stud. I love him. Stolzky had a pretty good game. He fell a couple times. I thought it was pretty funny. But he had a good game. Foxy had a freaking awesome game. Man, that kid can whip the puck around. Had a helper tonight. And 2 takeaways. Libor Hayek's really coming into his own. I wanted to comment on that. Libor Hayek's looking like he's feeling pretty darn comfortable. Definitely some question marks surrounding him the first 5 games of the season. Like, is this kid really ready for the NHL? But I think it's pretty set in stone now that Libor Hayek is here to stay. I mean, he looked pretty freaking awesome tonight. Smith played 10-03 tonight. Again, Brendan Smith had another one of those games where it's like, oh, I see why he's in the NHL right now and not just dummied down to the minors. If he could do this every single night, like me personally, I wouldn't complain about it as much. But the problem is he has good games like this only once in a while. If he could just be a little bit more consistent, that would be awesome. Skajiza had a pretty good game. He played 20-56. He had an interesting first period, like an up-and-down first period. Oh, God damn it. Keep yawning. I apologize. I keep yawning. Have you yawned too? But he finished the game with 2 helpers. I thought she had an awesome game. D'Angelo only played 15-22 tonight. I don't know why he didn't get a lot of ice time, but we won, so I'm not going to complain about it. He played the least amount of ice time out of the top 6 defensemen tonight. A little interesting decision on my opinion. But nonetheless, he had a freaking awesome game. I'm going to get into a little D'Angelo in a minute. Hank with a .939 save percentage, 29 saves on 31 shots. Good game. Surprised Buffalo didn't dress John Gilmore tonight. You think they didn't play him against his former team that really... Not that we didn't give him a chance, but he was just played out. Like, there was just no way Gilmore was going to beat any of these other guys. Like if you put John Gilmore on the New York Rangers right now, I mean, who is he beating out in this spot? Like, he would be like the 4th defenseman in the minors right now. And it's not a knock on him. It's just the way the Rangers' depth chart is on defense. And with his age, too, he's a little bit old. I think he's 26, 27 years old. It's just naturally you play the younger guys over him. Despite him being, in my opinion, I always liked John Gilmore. I thought he was an excellent skater and a great player. At least in the minors. Okay, that's the game stats. Let's get into the tweets. Now, this is what I'm going to start doing with my Rangers reviews now. Like, if I'm live tweeting the game, I'm going to go to this instead of just off of my memory. Because if I go off my memory, I'm going to forget a million things. First and foremost, Jimmy Vesey did not play, I think, the second half of the game. He looked like he took a hit into the boards. I don't know who hit him, but he took it a little odd and was like, yeah, he looked like a little hurt. But I did put a tweet out. I got 3 likes, not a big deal. 3 likes. It's a big deal for me. Get off my ass, please. Thank you. God. Jesus. VC skated hard. Like I'd never seen Vice. Jesus, I've never seen VC skate like the way he did. Like when he was skating, like he was skating hard. And it's not a knock on VC. Just when when he played for the Rangers, he was more like a skill player. We wanted him to score. He wasn't like a hard forechecker, like in your face type of player. But he was playing like that, and he played hard. And he actually looked pretty good when he was playing. I'll give VC credit where credit's due. I don't dislike VC at all. I happen to like Jimmy VC a lot. And I do miss him. I mean, he wouldn't fit in on this current roster. It's unfortunate for him the way it played out, but he really wouldn't fit in on this current roster. I do miss the guy. I wish things would have worked out better, but it didn't. That Panarin goal, that steal. Maloney broke down that play really well. Led off with a Trouba block. The Sabres had to retreat. Buchnevich pushed the forecheck. The forced pass to Dahlin. Panarin just knocked it off a stick and just dangled. Good old. That was a weird like. That was a lot, huh? Just dangled the shit out of. What's his face? Carter Hutton, one of my favorite goalies, by the way. I was at Carter Hutton's preseason game back in like 2011 or 12, maybe. I was in middle school when he was in for the Predators against the Islanders, the Nassau Coliseum. I got front row seats for $6 at the Coliseum that night. Come on, pretty sick, right? And me and one of my buddies, I lost contact with him a while ago, but me and one of my buddies, we'd always talk about Carter Hutton. His screensaver was Carter Hutton's Nashville Predators. He made his own like Nashville Predators Carter Hutton screensaver. Like before the guy even played an NHL game. I just thought that was fun. Anyways, back on topic. Howden, first goal was nice. Stromer again. It was just good hockey. Kreider, Lemieux had a freaking awesome. I mean, Lemieux was all over that. He was pissing everyone off, and he was playing great. All right, so this one, Tony DeAngelo is one of the most underrated defensemen in the league. Is that not a fair statement? Like one is no longer underrated when everyone acknowledges that he was once underrated. And I feel like DeAngelo, and say what you want, I'm sure a lot of it has to do with, he's not even outspoken anymore. A lot of it has to do with the society we live in. I mean, look, don't come at me with this. Don't give me shit right now, all right? Because I'm a pretty neutral person when it comes to this. Like, I'm very middle of the ground. I agree with everyone. I listen to everyone's points. I try to hear people out and not be an asshole and pass judgment because of what someone believes. Like, for God's sakes, we live in the United States. You could say or think whatever the hell you want. Who am I to tell you you can and cannot say or do this? Like, it's a free freaking country. So first, I just want to put that out there before people come at me and pass a judgment like I'm some asshole because I don't think DeAngelo's a bad guy. Here's the thing. I think a lot of what goes on with DeAngelo, why people don't like him a lot of it has to do with he's pretty outspoken that he supports Donald Trump, like he's a Republican, and apparently like if you believe something like if you think one way, like if you don't agree with somebody, apparently in like today's climate, like if someone's mindset doesn't directly align with you, they're just a loser and an asshole, and you can't even talk to them or think about them. You just have to hate that person if they don't agree with you. Like it's the society we live in now. My bad. I think a decent amount of it has to do with that. I'm not saying all of it, like a decent. I know I just said good amount, but I feel like a fair amount would have to do with that. Like it does. Like once players do get political. Or anyone gets political, I mean, it just, if 50-50, you're going to alienate 50% of people, and then there's just radicals out there that if you spurt your opinion, you're just no longer a human being. But DeAngelo, freaking awesome game. I said last season, he was our best defenseman. In my opinion, he was our best defenseman last season. I'm not saying he's our best defenseman this season, because it's going to be pretty hard to beat out Jacob Trouba for that title, but DeAngelo he's just so underrated in everything he does. Like, I want to find a way to, I'm not a huge fancy stat guy. Like, I don't know how to do the calculations. I have a hard time reading it and understanding it, but I understand a little bit of it. I would like to see, like, the fancy stats for DeAngelo's defensive numbers, like breaking up plays, breaking the puck in the zone, doing little stuff like that. I would be curious to see the fancy stats on that, because I do think that's, like, when Fantasy Stats first came out, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I've actually kind of come around. Not that I disliked it, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't like looking at the game like it was strictly numbers. But I do believe that Fantasy Stats are helpful and they should be looked at. Not like you can't like put a player into a microscope with those stats, but I think there's certainly you can build off of that when assessing a player. And I would like to see the just Fantasy Stat numbers on DeAngelo, just whatever people can throw at me. Yeah, it was a really fucking fun game tonight, huh? Holy hell, that was an entertaining game. That the penalty on Chris Kreider. Now we won the game. I'm not gonna blow a gasket over it. The penalty on Kreider, the goalie interference call. I think it was Forever Blue Shirts tweeted like it was a reputation penalty, and I think I agree with that. I disagree with the call, but I agree as to why he thought the penalty was called on a just a reputation play. Because Kreider made a pretty honest effort to get, like, he grazed him. Don't get me wrong, he grazed him. But he made a pretty conscious effort to get out of the way and not make any contact with Hutton at all, despite him making a little bit of contact. And it's not like he drilled him. Like, he just, like, he nicked him. Like, he got out of the way. Like, it wasn't, I don't think it was that bad. I don't think it was penalty worthy. Like, I don't think Hutton was really, like, debilitated by the play, you know? And there's one thing I want to get in about David Quinn. On the Tony DeAngelo slashing penalty in the third period, Buchnevich could have gotten the puck out of the zone, but he made a bit of a, not a bonehead play, he made a mistake and didn't get the puck out and it led to the penalty. And when he got back to the bench, like Buchnevich, when he got back to the bench, like freaking David Quinn was just belittling him. Like, the kids had a like, this is what I don't understand. Like, this is the mindset I don't understand. And I've played hockey. I haven't played hockey at a high level, but I've played hockey before. And I'm a human being. Like, human beings somewhat think alike. I just don't understand, like, if you're having a great game, if you're flying across the ice, like, in your mind, like, you know when you're having a bad game, you know when you're having a good game. Buchnevich has to know he's having a great game. So to him make one mistake, and to get back on the bench saying, instead of the coach saying, hey, look, that was a bad play, be careful next time, like, it led to this, now we're in this situation, like, come on, like let's buckle down. There it is again. Buckle down. This can't happen again. Instead, like, from what it looks like, at least from my perspective, when the camera was on David Quinn on the bench, like, he was fucking belittling Buchnevich, like, screaming at him. Like, Buchnevich, like, his head was cowered, like, he was looking down, shaking his head, whatever. David Quinn was, like, fucking destroying him over it. Like, look, I understand it was a penalty, but at this point, it's a 3-goal game. It's late in the game. Like, if it was a tie game and there's a minute left in the third period, yeah, I mean, feed into him a little bit, but don't destroy the guy. Like, he literally, like, he fucking chewed him out over it. I don't know. I thought that was a little over the top. I think there are right and wrong ways to coach in that situation, and I'm not knocking David. It's David Quinn's coaching style. He knows a lot more than I do. He's coaching the NHL. I'm not. But I don't know. I disagree with the way you handle that situation, like screaming and yelling at a player, like at that point in the game, after the game he's had. Because imagine if if the Buffalo comes back and they tie that freaking game, you need Buchnevich in overtime. You put him out in 3-on-3, and he's sitting there like, you kind of take away his momentum the momentum that he gave himself by having a freaking awesome game because you just ripped into him. Like, if Buchnevich is the type of player where it's like, not like getting in his head, but like you upset him a little bit, like you hurt him a little bit, like it's like, come on, you fuck him up a little bit. And don't call me a fucking softie for that. Like, look, human beings are human beings. I don't care if you're the toughest person in the world. If you're doing a good job and someone rips into you for like something relatively small, like nothing like huge, like, you're gonna feel bad about it. No one's unbreakable. People have fucking feelings. Don't not acknowledge that. Like, people do have feelings, and you can mess with people's heads by yelling at them. Especially like a guy like Buchnevich, who's been living in North America for what, like 3 years now. The guy can barely speak English, and you just shred him like in front of the entire team. It's embarrassing, is what it is for Buchnevich. So he feels a little bit of embarrassment. Anyway, I digress. I like what Quinn did with the lines. I'm not gonna get on Quinn's ass. The only thing I'm gonna get on his ass about is just, I don't think it was necessary the way he just belittled Buchnevich. I thought that was a little over the top. Anyways, I'm sure I'm going to catch a lot of heat for this video. I've said a lot of things that I'm sure someone or another is going to cry their little eyes out about and tell me all about it in the comment section. I can't wait. Anyways, I'm done. Comment down below. What are your thoughts? And I'll try to reply to all of them. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.